So that's how I got into
Ah.
starting.
But for me, my first perception was that you are a marketeer.
Mm-hmm.
But if I read your book, Stand Up to Stand Out,
Yeah.
you are not a marketeer. So who are you actually? Are you a marketeer? Are you a seller? Are you personal development? Are you a speaker? Are you a coach? Who are you?
Actually,
How do you see yourselves? I'm going to ask it like that.
I'll probably, if we do this podcast in a couple of years, I'll give you a different answers. That's the
Of
beauty
course.
of you, and you reinvent yourself. But I think if you ask me who am I, is that I forgot who I was during the years, and with starting my business, I found myself again, which I will explain and make concrete. When I started after schooling and had to find an internship, I started in HR, internal communication, employer branding, recruitment. That was the day that HR and employer branding was just putting a job ad in the papers. That was it. And people said, why do you want to do that? Because you have the sexy public relation world, you have the sexy advertising world. Why do you want to go into HR? Because you studied marketing communications. And I said, I want to do something with people. I want to change people. I want to make them better. I want to get the full potential. I want to get them to a job and that they work there and that they grow and that I had something to do with it. That was my initial drive. That's why I chose the HR world and the employer branding world. And I loved it. And then I went to PepsiCo and I became a marketeer because we did the digital marketing and I was selling chips and cola and all that stuff. And it was great and it went great, but I felt that that wasn't really me because you lost track of the people and it was more about the numbers.
Yeah.
And then when I started this business again, I found myself again. And if you ask me, who are you? I'm again that guy who came from school and wanted to do something with people. And now my job is to coach in group or one-on-one everyday people. And the beauty is not just making money and growing a business, but that these people send you messages and say, thank you, Marnick. I found new confidence. Thank you. I now know how to speak in front of a big crowd. Thank you. This really changed me or brought back something I forgot. So who am I? I think I am the guy who enjoys and gets energy in triggering something in people that brings out the best version of themselves.
Oh, great answer. Now, your book, Stand Up to Stand Out, my first perception that it was a marketing book, but it isn't. It's actually one of the best books that I've read since the last years, especially coming from Belgium.
Say that again. It's good for my ego.
Yeah, but also if you're running just on your ego, you're not going to touch a lot of people, of course.
No, that's true. That's
no.
true.
Now, when did you find out you had such great writing skills?
I found out. I think I got it from my grandfather. Like with everything, everyone who's in some sort of coaching knows everything almost relates back to your childhood. I think I subconsciously watched my grandfather. He loves to write. He still writes. He's 88 years old. He still writes every day, poetry, things he reads. It keeps him mentally and physically really. He's still 88. He goes bowling, goes to the pub. He's still on it, and he loves to write, loves to read. And every birthday I had, he wrote a poem himself, and he has beautiful handwriting. So I think I saw it as a kid every day because we had a very good relationship, and I spent a lot of time with him. And then in college, we had a copywriting class, which is writing. Okay. And I had to do assignments. And every time I did an assignment, I got all max the points. All the teachers were like, this is really good. And I was like, oh my God, I didn't know that. I can write. And then there's also the time that I met Natalie, my wife. And she also said, whoa, you're a good writer. You can actually do that. It's normal that you're getting a lot of points. And I was like, hey, I'm actually enjoying this. And for some reason, people that know something about it say that I'm good at writing. So I thought like, okay, I'm good at it. And they say I'm good at it. So let's keep doing it. And then after a while, the idea grew of like, let's start writing a book and blogs and all that stuff.
So but when was the moment that you really had, and now I'm going to do it. Now I'm going to write a book. When was that? Was that 3-4 years ago?
I think it was about 2 years ago. And I wanted to write a novel. Okay. I wanted to write something like I don't know, novel of something Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, Game of Thrones style. And I've started many times, but you have to find out so many characters, and it's deepest respect for the J.K. Rowlings of this world, to be able to write that. But I wanted to do something like that, and then a friend of mine, Brett Minchington, who is an author who has written, I think, 5 to 6 books globally, and some other people that are experienced authors, said, like, why don't you write a business book? And the moment they start not pushing me, but start planting the seeds, it started growing. Like, maybe I should let the novel go and write the book. And then 2 years ago, I was like, I'm going to do it. I don't know how, but I'm going to start writing it.